good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Show on and with Let's Talk with Joan. And yeah, this morning, I am so happy having you here. I'm happy everybody who tuned in. Welcome. Well, we have an exciting program for you today. It is not like last week's where we laughed and all that, but yeah, a little bit serious than before. Our show today is about broken mirrors and what reflection or image is your brokenness reflecting? Because you see, a broken mirror is actually have different reflections, but with the same image, right? So it have a lot of reflections, same image, and when a mirror is broken, it actually, guys, can become a razor. So, which means the razor can cut, and the razor can be used as a nice helmet or a nice hat. Broken mirrors can be used for so many things. And so, yeah, this morning I have with me two people, two guests with me, and these ladies went through a lot of stuff in their lives, and they're going to share a little bit what a broken image in their personal lives reflected at the time of brokenness and how they overcame this brokenness. So yeah, with me this morning, I have a lady by the name of Rosetta. I'm going to let her just introduce herself, and then I have Mol. Mol's going to introduce herself. So yeah, Rosetta, welcome to the program on Talk with Joan. I'm so happy having you here this morning. So tell me, don't you want to just introduce yourself to our people, to our audience?
Good morning, Joan. Thank you so much for having me here. It's really an honor. Good morning to everyone out there who's actually listening to the show. I'm just being Rosetta. You know, sometimes you don't want to add titles. You don't want to add anything.
Yeah.
You just want to be real. And I think that's just who I am. I just want to be.
Yeah, so you're Rosetta Patrick. Right. Welcome to the show. I know we're going to have an awesome time here together today, and we're going to learn a little bit from your life's journey. So yeah, I have Mol in the studio. Let's give Mol the opportunity. A round of applause to Mol. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, Joan. It's such a privilege to be here this morning. I'm Mo Brankis, and I'm here to share my journey and where I find myself at today.
Praise God. Yes, girlfriends, today we're speaking on broken mirrors. So I know girlfriends, you have your mirrors in your purse, because now and then I'm a girl too. So I know some guys also have their mirrors with them. So if you are at home, go to your mirror in your room, in the bathroom, wherever you are. I'm sure you have a mirror, because remember now, this is my mirror, and every day I look into this mirror. When I do my makeup, I look into the mirror, and there's certain marks and there's certain things that I can actually fill up with the makeup. You know what I'm saying? And many times we go through life like that, broken inside, but we can camouflage it with makeup, and we can actually cement it and make us look nice, you know, from the outside, but inside it's bleeding. So yeah, I want you to go to the mirror, and I'm going to ask Rosetta, what do you see when you look into your mirror? What do you see in your mirror? What image is actually reflecting back at you?
Joan, looking at my mirror, I see this mirage or collage of memories. Some not so good, others better. But it's this whole lot of pieces brought together, and that pieces is called life.
Oh, yes.
And some of those pieces you wish were not in this mirror, and others you celebrate. But with this broken mirror, although it's shattered and there's so many cracks on it, that mirror, I wouldn't have been me if I couldn't look at this mirror this morning.
That's
and
very
be honest
true.
about it.
That's very true, because in that brokenness, character is formed. Am I right?
That's correct.
So, yeah, Merle, you have your mirror. If you look into your mirror, what image do you see?
If I look into this mirror, I see myself, and I look at my journey, and I see all these cracks. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm busy rebuilding, and I'm busy making this mirror whole again.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a strong person that's looking back at me and realizing that I am strong, I am a woman, I am a survivor, and I'm still going to be okay after all of this.
Very true, because you've learned something in the brokenness. Things happened, right? So we're going to talk, ladies and gentlemen, watching the show this morning, and I want you to look into your mirror. What image is reflecting back this morning when you look into the mirror? Because every day is not the same, you know. So every day when you look into the mirror, there are certain things happening, and sometimes you don't even want to look into the mirror because your heart is actually so broken. You are so broken inside that you feel, oh, I don't even want to look at myself today. So what is reflecting today? What images are reflecting from your broken mirror today? Well, I'm gonna, because you see, I realize that life has so many obstacles and so many hurdles, and there are so many mountains to climb in this life's journey. And yes, beloveds, it's called life. But you know what? Through it all, when you endure, guess what? You come out as a gold diamond. Amen. A diamond have to first go through the fire and certain things before it becomes that beauty that you wear on your finger. So inside, sometimes we can push, we can jump, we can do everything from the outside, while the inside is crying out. And today we're gonna just go a little bit into the journey of life, and we're gonna have an awesome time. Yeah, we're gonna learn from the testimonies, because remember now, your testimony and your test can become your testimony. And out of that brokenness, something good can come to the fore. So yes, girlfriends, I'm going to ask my dear sister Rosetta, if you can please share with us your journey of life.
Certainly, Joan, and it has been a journey indeed.
Yeah.
In retrospect today, it all started so long ago, and I didn't know if I was going to make it. I remember going through it, asking myself, am I going to survive this? I delivered twins, of which I managed to lose the one. And I thought that was the most painful thing that could happen to a woman. But little did I know that there was still more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very difficult as a mother to actually lose a child, isn't it?
That's true, especially when you have the other one reminding you
yes,
there
yes.
is one missing. And I thought that has brought me down to my knees. But being in ministry, God is also, and we always pray for certain things, but we never ask what the price would be that we need to pay.
Exactly.
And having everything going well, coming from a comfortable background, suddenly the journey started. I wasn't prepared for it, because we perceive...
If you talk about a comfortable background, can you just give us a little bit into that?
Yes, I come from a family that's quite financially established, and when I got married, I was established prior to getting married, so it was a comfortable family life.
Oh, okay.
And suddenly, it just started happening. I first wrote off my car that I paid cash.
In an accident?
In the car accident, where it was a head-on collision with a taxi.
Wow.
And I remember when the paramedics got to the car, they actually said, okay, it's no use that we should actually get the coroner.
Wow.
And I was screaming from behind the seat that, no, I'm here.
Wow.
And still digesting losing my car, I had heart and kidney failure. I got up one morning and I wasn't feeling well, assuming that it was anxiety as a result of what was happening.
So tell me, Rosetta, you actually came out, obviously, you're sitting here alive, out of that wreckage.
Exactly.
You came out there alive. Wow. Nobody died in the accident?
Nope. I was with my
Praise
daughter.
God.
We both 100% okay. Whatever the doctor predicted would be wrong with us, nothing has ever occurred.
No.
I've never suffered from any of those. And then I had heart and kidney failure without warning. I assumed that it was anxiety.
Okay.
And I went to the hospital the Monday morning. The doctor said, you had your first heart attack on Saturday already.
What?
This is the second major one, and you have severe muscle damage. And Joan, I would never forget that I could hear the conversation in ICU, but I couldn't tell them that I'm actually hearing them. And the doctor in charge said,
So you heard? They thought you...
I'm not going to make it. They actually said, the one doctor said to the other, let's admit her because it's procedure, but there's nothing that we can do because the family's here.
Wow.
So we can't deny any medical treatment, but there's nothing that we can do. And I still remember the one doctor saying, let the children come in because they're not going to see her after this. And while you're lying there listening to this conversation, telling them that I'm conscious enough to hear you, but I can't let you know that I'm hearing you. And in that moment...
So they thought you were in a coma?
Yes.
They thought you were busy slipping?
That's what my vitals were showing.
Wow.
And
so you're actually a miracle sitting here.
I am indeed. And to God be the glory for that. And I would never forget, I actually have the hospital records to show that time of death was written 5 times on my file that night.
What?
Because every time they would say, we just lost her, and the doctor would ask for time of death. And as soon as they wrote down the time, they would say, there's a pulse again.
Wow.
And it happened 5 times that night. And the next morning, the matron and everyone walked in and they were like, she wasn't even supposed to make it for an hour, and she's actually looking at us this morning. But what I will never forget is while I was in that semi-coma stage when I couldn't communicate with anyone, there was someone I could communicate with.
Amen.
There was someone that I reached out to.
Yes.
And to him you can speak without saying a word.
Yes.
Because he understands the heartbeat.
Yes.
He understands the outcry of a mother.
And he's the manufacturer of this body laying there.
And I actually said to him, you made it. You know every muscle, every vein, every vessel. These words and jargon they are using, I don't need to understand it. But Lord, I just need you to fix it for me.
Yes.
I just need you to fix it for me. I don't want it to show up this time. I need you to show off.
So 5 times they actually pronounced you dead.
They did.
So they had to take, hey, my word, that must have been something, eh? Wow. And you heard them? You could hear them?
But I couldn't tell them that, listen, tone down. I can actually hear you, you're not helping me morally because you're telling me that I'm dying and I can hear this whole conversation. They actually brought the interns in to show them what a septic heart failure looks like.
Goodness me. So the doctor's report, guys, again, that's the doctor's report. But there's a doctor above all doctors, right? His name is Jesus. Amen. So he can actually change the situation around. I don't know about you, but I can actually feel him here, that he is here. And he is going to change your situation. Might be now written off. There might be time limits on your situation right now. Yes, a certificate of death. Oh, what time? 5 times, guys. 5 times. But hey, It wasn't the end. She's here, she's alive. And on that note, there's another lady who went through the same, similar experience. And that is not long ago. That is a few months ago. That is in this time of COVID, this evil virus that we are actually experiencing right now in the world. So I would just like, Mel, I would like you just to tell us a little bit about your journey of your life.
Thank you, Joan. I'm listening to Rosetta and I'm getting goosebumps because the experience of near death changes you forever. And it was like a normal Friday afternoon. I just go to the mall and do my thing, have my coffee and stuff. But this Friday afternoon was so different. I just felt an extreme feeling of exhaustion.
Yes.
And I went home and I said to my husband, I'm just going to park the car. I don't have the energy even to lift a bag out of the boot. And I went and lay down and I was like out the whole weekend. I laid in bed and I didn't even realize that I contracted COVID. That's still up till today. I don't know where I actually contracted it. And I ended up at my doctor on the Thursday. And by that time, my oxygen level was on 60% already.
Wow.
And she said to me, are you okay? I'm going to send you. But just the way she looked at me, I thought to myself, oh, here's the problem, And then she said, go for the x-ray. And then when I saw the radiologist's face, and I thought to myself, there is, definitely something wrong with me. And went back to her and she said to me, you need to go pack a bag. I'm on the phone with a pulmonologist at Wilgevel. And that's how I ended up in hospital the Thursday evening.
Wow.
And for me, I had like 2 panic attacks on my way to the hospital because the fact that you can't breathe normally gives you such a feeling of anxiety.
You feel you're going to die.
You feel that death coming on and you're not being able to breathe properly. It is the worst feeling that you can have. Just to take that normal breath was a challenge for me. And getting to the hospital, and I saw this doctor's face.
I can imagine.
And he said to me, just calm down, Mrs. Brenkes. You're gonna be okay.
Yes.
And me having that panic attack on that table with this doctor, just when I opened up my eyes, I had needles and drips and stuff everywhere. And I realized to myself, it is impossible what is happening to me because I didn't realize that this virus can actually attack you so quickly. I had absolutely no symptoms. It was just my breathing. I had no cough. I had normally the symptoms with your taste and all of that. I had absolutely nothing. I just
So you went into Wilgevel
on the Thursday evening.
On the Thursday evening, and they kept you there.
And they kept me there. The Friday morning, the doctor came to me and he said to me, "You're positive." I still remember sending Franklin a message, and I said to him, "I'm positive, but don't panic. Keep the children calm." And after that, I have absolutely no recollection of what happened to me.
Yeah, I remember you sent me a message and I phoned you. And I said to you, don't say anything, I'm going to just pray.
Yes.
And we had a time of prayer.
Yes.
And that was my last conversation with you that day. So why don't you have any recollection of what happened after?
Oh, sure. It's like, you have a blank and I only realize what happened to me when I have a conversation with Franklin with what he had with the doctor. Apparently my oxygen level dropped so rapidly that they didn't have any option to put me on a ventilator to help me breathe, because I was actually busy dying.
Yes.
And I woke up 11 days later in ICU with a pipe down my throat.
Wow.
And just realizing that I am alive. God chose me to breathe again.
Alive. How many days were you on the ventilator?
11 days.
11 days.
11 days. They just, I laid there. And normally when you lay like that, you lose muscle mass.
Yes.
Yes. And I thought to myself, where do I find myself? It took me 2 days to basically focus my eyes. Because the first time when I opened it, I had this blurred vision that I only saw shapes for the first day. Because after the 11 days, they started weaning me off the medication.
I remember. I know they say, because when I checked it out with the ventilator, you're not supposed to be so long on the ventilator.
Yes.
Because everything, your muscles actually...
Yes. It's like lapses.
It lapses.
Yes.
It gets weak. So weak
very.
That you can't even lift.
Yeah, your movement.
Impacts. Yeah.
Everything.
Yes.
And to wake up, and normally what they do is, the first thing you do if you come out of a ventilator and induced coma is that you use your hands to like want to take the pipe out and stuff. So what they did was they like tied a thingy to my thumb to the bed, and I was just laying there, and I thought to myself, God have mercy on me.
You didn't, you couldn't, you don't know there's 11 days of your life that you don't know what happened to you.
I do not know. And for me, it's a huge, I had a conversation with you already. It's a huge challenge just to fill in the blanks into what happened to me in that 11 days.
Wow.
And listening from Franklin and what the conversations he had with the doctor is that with me with a comorbidity, I am a diabetic.
Yes.
So my odds.
Yes.
There was basically no odds.
Yes.
To come out of that situation alive. And
because there's so many people
healthy people.
Now tell me,
that died of COVID.
Yeah, and in your ward, I mean, both of you can maybe you have the experience of knowing that, oh hell no, someone just passed on in my ward.
It did.
Yeah,
and that anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Because Joan, when I was in ICU, the most scary part when I came by is hearing that sound of that trolley at night, because no one had to tell you what it meant.
Yes.
No one had to tell you what it meant.
Exactly.
And it was people with least complications, people with better vitals, so people that had a better chance of survival than you were. And
so what goes through your mind if you see that?
It is beyond.
You just know that this is a time where it's become one-on-one.
Yes.
Now it's not about anyone else's testimony. Now it's not about my ministry.
Yes.
Now it's not about what my husband believes in. Now it is one-on-one.
Yes.
So it's you and your maker.
It's you and your
maker. While you lay there, you must now speak to your maker.
Yes.
Because in your situation, Mo, there was no visiting.
No visiting. You can't. The last time I saw Franklin and the kids was on the Thursday evening, and they couldn't even come in because Wilgevel had a special unit.
Yes.
That they had COVID patients come in. So
Yes.
they were standing in the passage. And with me having a panic attack and screaming and the doctors calling my name, they were thinking, this is it.
Yes.
And for them, the anxiety and just being anxious to know what is happening inside, and not being admitted the Thursday, and then not being able to say, it's okay, mommy, your Mola's going to be fine. They couldn't do that. Normally, when you're in hospital, you get your visitors, and it makes you feel.
Yeah, it gives you go. It gives you some form of pushing, some form of enduring.
Just to have them around.
Yes, just to see them, and just that words that they say of keep on going, keep on fighting. Yeah, because I remember I send you messages and nothing's happening. So I eventually had to send your husband actually send me a message, and all we could do then was to pray, as Rosetta said. You can only speak to your maker.
And that is...
And in that time with Mel's situation, I just lost my sister, also through COVID. And her situation was, she was also diabetic, and ended up in hospital. Actually, she went for a scope, because the previous week she started bleeding, through her mouth and so on. And then we thought, no, maybe it's the high blood or things like that. But then we took her, it was such a hassle because we had to drive up and down with the ambulance just to get her into a hospital for someone to just take, see to her, and stabilize her. But unfortunately, at every hospital we were told it's full.
Yeah.
We must try another hospital. And I can just imagine, because I know how I felt driving around with my sister. She's in an ambulance. And eventually, someone who worked at Volgejevel, who actually said, let her come back home and let us exchange from ambulance to ambulance. Volgejevel's ambulance will pick her up. So it is so sad to know that in this life in South Africa that we have to go through things like this, where we can't even get your loved one that is about so serious, that is about to die.
The care that they need.
And they need that care immediately.
Yeah.
But you are shown away.
Yeah.
From hospitals. We were at 3 hospitals and we were shown away. Until we phoned the guy. Shame, they were so helpful. We phoned the guy of the ambulance and we said, well, we got someone from Volgejevel Hospital. So that ambulance is coming. So come back home to her house. And she was still sitting in. I spoke to her. She was smiling.
Yeah.
She was okay. Because they actually stabilized her in the ambulance. And thereafter, the following week, she had to go in for a scope to see where the blood comes from. And then this doctor said, no, it's fine. She can come in and go home again. And we took it like, okay, no, everything is fine. But then when the doctor who saw to her said, no, we must wait for the physician. A physician came and said, well, we're going to do a test the following morning or late at night. Yeah. So she's going to have to stay over. And my gut told me she mustn't stay over, because we saw what was happening in hospitals, and I can imagine. So in that, when I spoke to her the last time, it wasn't a good conversation. I just had to go into prayer because she said to me, they put a drip on her, and since then she's not herself. She said, it feels I'm going to die. That was my sister's last words to me. Wow. I feel I'm gonna die. And while I lost her, and here I have, first, I lost a close friend of mine. She was with me at school for many years. We were very close. She passed on. And then it was my sister. And here I have another friend. And they're fighting for her life. Guys, it was something, as Rosetta said, it's a conversation you have with God Himself and say, Father, I will not be able to handle this. So spare. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Rosetta, what made you endure all these challenges? What made you keep on going on? Pushing through these obstacles, pushing through these challenges of your life's journey?
John, there were so many that you need to get to a point. I always call it my crossroad.
Okay.
Where I actually got to a point where you need to choose.
Yes.
You choose life.
Yes.
Or you choose death.
Yes.
You cannot change life or events in life, but you can either make it torture or you can make it a treasure.
Listen, man, I want to ask you this question. Yeah. When you heard the doctors had a conversation that, you know what, she's not going to make it, she's going to die. So we must just keeping her alive, right?
Because it's
procedure.
It's procedure, yeah.
Right? So What went through your mind during that time? Yeah, I'm on the verge of dying. Yo, I can imagine what I would do. What went through your mind there?
Amazingly, it was for the first time, because prior to that a whole lot of events has happened. Many events, but not so pleasing ones. And at that time, there was like a peace beyond my understanding.
What?
I promise you, I was like, God, they said it 5 times, and 5 is the number of grace.
Yes, yes.
So that is an indication to me that you haven't given up yet.
Yes, yes.
I might not understand this. You might have to call me to a standstill. And if this is a way that the journey needs to end, allow me to accept it. But I'm not ready to go. Though many other plans of my heart, but your will ultimately prevail.
Absolutely.
But
So
Lord,
true.
I'm not ready to go.
And thinking of the children, yeah.
My kids are small.
Yes.
We've just recently lost a car. Our company shut down without notice, so we took a
What?
financial dip at that stage. And we just ended up having to move out of what we called home, our
Yes.
safe zone. And so we were still adjusting, and I'm like, what's going to happen to these kids out there? It's like, Lord, you know the circumstances. And being
So with the
human,
financial dip, your house was at stake.
yes, Joan, everything happened within 8 months.
Wow.
Everything
goodness.
happened.
And that's security, man. That is, that's a roof above my head.
Exactly.
So
if anything happens to me, at least these kids know where they go
absolutely,
through.
man.
And I was working for a company. It was 2 weeks prior to my transfer to Dubai to our head office, and the company was shut down without notice. It was liquidated, so there was no benefits paid
Wow.
out, nothing, and our house was at stake.
Goodness me.
And we just took a second bond. We've renovated the house.
My
It was
goodness.
eventually becoming the house that we always wanted, and now it was in the scale, but that we might not even enjoy this house.
Well, that is life, eh?
Goodness,
Because
that financial dip, that I'm used to this lifestyle. I'm used to
Exactly.
things. I'm used to, while I am not okay, at least my husband and my children is secure. They
Exactly.
in a home.
And knowing me, Joan, I was on the stage.
Yes.
I'm a person that used to like enjoying life.
Yes.
I used to live life to the fullest. And suddenly, there was a possibility that I might not have any life at all.
That is amazing.
That is- wow.
Listening to you, and I'm thinking now, if I was in your shoes, I wonder what I would have done. I don't know.
Especially when you hear your children's voices on the background, because they brought them in to see me.
Okay.
And then the father came in afterwards. And you hear the children's voices on the background. And the matron is telling them, leave them to stay, because they don't allow kids in ICU.
Sure.
Yes.
Leave them to stay for at least
How
5
old were
minutes.
they then?
13, 14, and 20.
Crucial ages.
Yes. And the matron said, leave them for at least 5 minutes, because they're not going to see their mom after this.
Wow.
And
And
hearing
listening
them-
to their voices.
Yeah, and it's like, Mommy, please be okay. Mommy, please speak to us. And I so much wanted to that I actually like, Lord, just once more. Can I just open my mouth once more to tell them I'm still around? But I couldn't even lift a finger to show
So
them.
you were
that-
going to give them hope.
Yes.
To say, don't worry, mommy's going to be
Mommy's gonna
fine.
be- yeah. Even if I
Goodness.
wasn't
Sure.
even sure if I'm going to
My
see the
word.
next day.
Mal, what was your experience there?
I'm just listening to Rosetta. Sure, it's like you get goosebumps because you can only speak about it when you've experienced
Yeah.
it. And laying there and not knowing, am I going to go through this? But that's when you start speaking to God and you tell Him, I am in this battle,
Exactly.
but you have the ultimate say in this. I want to live. You must choose life. Because that is what keeps you, what makes you strong
Yes.
in your mind, because it's a mental thing. If you're going to give up hope on yourself, then who's going to fight for you? You need
So
to.
while you
need to-
can't talk,
You
you
need to-
can't hear your voice.
You can't.
But your inner voice
Inner
is telling
said-
you.
I said.
I like
had
that.
That
I like that.
conversation to say, I had this people. The sister must have maybe thought I'm losing it, because I said to myself, COVID, you're not gonna take my life.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, I spoke to it. I said, you're not taking. I said, I have the blood of Jesus over me.
Yes.
Because
Amen.
I want to live. I've got so much things to do. I've got kids. I don't have grandkids. I still want to see them.
Absolutely.
I still want to see my kids get
Yes.
married. All of those things go through your mind. I'm thinking about my extended family. You know my
Yes,
story
yes.
with my sisters. I'm the middle child, but I'm the eldest in their
Yes.
eyes. All of those things went through my mind, and I thought to myself, I don't want to die here. I want to get
Yeah,
out
and
of
that little
ICU.
ones that you must
But
see to,
to
Lord,
all
who's
of those, who's gonna see to those children? I see the amazement on this doctor's face when she came in. I always saw the pulmonologist, but when the physician came in, and she looked at me and she just shook her head. So I said to myself, "You must."
Now
have-
listen, when you opened your eyes now, when they took you off
the ventilator.
the ventilator. So what happened to you then?
I thought to myself, oh my word. It took me, because the doctor said, she had to keep me on longer because my lungs didn't have the capacity to breathe on my own. And that's why they kept me on so long. And they kept on checking your level of oxygen, that you must, 94% and up is
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
I was still in the 70s. So that's why they kept, because apparently I most probably went below 60. That's why they had to ventilate. And she said to me, even though you look at me, I can see in your eyes asking me, when are I'm taking you off.
Yeah.
Because I was awake for 3 days
Yes.
in ICU, which means on the 14th day, then they only let me out into a normal ward. But in that time, when they had to wean me off, it's a feeling of helplessness that I had laying there.
So you had to learn
I had to learn to walk,
to breathe again.
and breathe on my
Wow.
own. Sometimes when I fall asleep, I said to Franklin, then I have this, it's almost like you try and breathe.
Yes.
Because you forget. You forget.
What?
You forget to breathe. You sometimes forget to
Yeah,
breathe.
because everything
Normally,
lapsed.
Everything
Everything-
lapsed. You have to learn. The reason why he said, this pulmonologist said to me, Mrs. Brankis, if you want to get out of ICU, you need to walk at least 5 steps. That, for me, was a huge challenge. I couldn't. I had the physiotherapist keep me up from the back to slide
You
me out
couldn't
of bed.
do
I
5
couldn't
steps?
do 5 steps. The ventilator is a
What
good thing
happened when
to keep you alive, but it weakens your body.
when you take the steps? What happens?
It's like it's like you want to breathe, but you can't.
I can relate to that.
Yes, you want to breathe, but you can't.
Goodness
If you
me.
lay, your body,
Lord.
your body it's almost like you have an out-of-body experience, because you look at your body and then you tell yourself, is this me?
And it's like your
Yeah.
mind is not
It's
communicating with your
communicating with your
limbs.
limbs.
Your mind tells
Because
you,
you can't.
I need to move, but
Yes,
your limbs
no, you
are not
can't.
responding to the
Yes.
to the instruction.
Mm.
Because that's what happens when you come out of you
ICU,
also.
yes.
Yes. Your body, you need to teach your body certain
all
things
those
again.
things. You need to teach your
But
body
there's
to
a gap
breathe.
in this communication.
Yeah.
And it brings you so close to a breakdown because you start panicking. Am I ever going to have control over my body and mind again?
Shucks.
Just to balance.
But it depends. It shows you how strong the power of the
your
mind
mind.
is.
That is it.
And I think if you made it up in your mind, I'm
yeah.
gonna live.
Yes.
I think there's still hope. Right? You don't want to throw in the towel
Yes,
because your mind
mind.
tells you, listen, I can still
Yes.
live. I can still make it in life.
And you tell
that-
your mind, these feet are going to walk again. I'm going to touch again with these
Wow.
hands.
And that is,
That's not going to change.
Yeah.
It might not be today.
Yeah.
It might not be easy. But it is going to happen. It's
Yeah.
bound to happen.
Goodness, Mal. So now I remember you were telling me you could hear the doctor far
Yes,
calling you.
calling me, and that was the 11th day, the night, and I thought to myself, somebody is calling me, like Mrs. Brankis, and I thought to myself, where am I? And I tried opening, which was very difficult. I tried opening my eyes and I couldn't, And then the following day, and I thought to myself, I need to force myself. I need to force my eyes open. And when it's like almost like I wanted to, you wanted to push.
Yes, really?
I wanted to push myself out of this. And I found it extremely difficult. As I said to you, I opened my eyes, but I saw just, how these masks, and I'm thinking by myself, am I in space or what? Because this guy had a mask on, his goggles. He had a mask, his whole spacesuit, the mask and goggles and everything. And I thought,
and now you still see him blurry,
like in front of me, and
I can imagine that image.
The image alone. And I thought to myself, but then I tried to swallow. If you wake up in the morning, what you do when you wake up in the morning. And I thought to myself, what is happening? I felt this thing in my throat, and I thought, oh my God. And the first thing that went through my mind, I don't want to die. That is it. I do not want to die here. I'm not going to die. I made it a point of, when I saw that shape, and I know he comes to check my vitals and how I respond. They check, they have this chart where they check your response. They tell you to lift your right hand, lift your left, lift your feet, and if you can respond, by shaking your head.
Yes.
So that I
then they know you at your full mind,
I'm thinking to myself, I need to do something, because just now these people think that I'm dead.
Yes.
And I'm busy dying, And I forced myself to do that. I thought to myself, if I hear this voice, it's almost like I'm sitting, I'm laying and I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear that voice so that I can show him, I am still here. I'm alive.
Wow.
I can lift even if I can't see you, I'm going to show you that I'm here. I'm going to lift my right hand. I'm going to lift my left hand. If you ask me to do something, or maybe just say no or yes, I'm going to do that.
Yes.
Even without seeing him.
And you pushed yourself
to do that. I think
that's awesome. And that actually was that endurance to live.
Yes.
To love. I'm going to love.
It is.
Yes, you push through. You push through that stigma that's telling you at the back of your mind, oh, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, and you hear all those voices. You see this is my situation. This is a dire situation. But within me, I have that. I have that to endure.
Yeah,
I have that to push. And when you just woke up, what was your?
They called me dead man walking, because everybody almost passed out the next morning when they walked in. Because the previous night when they went off duty, they were just waiting for the time of death, so I could actually go to the mortuary.
Yeah, they thought when they come in the morning, you're gonna be gone.
They didn't even do proper checks and whatever.
Goodness.
And the next morning they called me dead man walking, and the matron actually came to me and she said to me, if you have not been serving God, this might be a good time to start.
Really?
She said, I do not understand what happened in this place last night. She said, but when I received the call that your vitals stabilized just after 3 o'clock, I couldn't understand it. I had to see it.
Well, I like that, because you know what? That shows me, and that proves to me there is a God.
There is.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
There is. And that is the time when I felt closest to Him. I couldn't see the time. Because remember, I was in the seminary.
Yes.
I couldn't see the time because they were so aware of time all the time. What time is it? What time is it? So I had an estimate. And it was round about just after 3 when they said, listen, our pulse is picking up. The blood pressure, because my blood pressure was 220 over 180.
Yeah, goodness.
And everything totally just went. But in that few hours, felt like a few weeks, because you had to make so many decisions.
Yeah.
And especially spiritual decisions, because this was about, Lord, I used to know this, I used to know that, but now this needs to become a reality.
Yeah.
Because now it's no more gamble.
Yeah.
Lord, it's life or death now. And they said to me I was going to stay in ICU for at least 14 days. Within 3 days, I went over to the high care ward.
Wow.
They said with my failure, my muscle failure, 3 months. By the grace of God, within 2 weeks, I walked myself out of that hospital. Pastor Joan, when I got outside, when I saw the sun shine, people might have thought that I was crazy.
Yeah.
But then you know what Job's meant when he said, I know. my Redeemer lives.
Amen.
Okay.
So my last question to you guys are, what is your view of life after experiencing a near-death experience, right? I'm sure you have a different view of life.
Yes.
So what would you say is the view of your life at this moment, going through all these challenges, health challenges, you who lost everything, you know, I mean, it's easy to just give up and throw in the towel and say, well, you know what, this is now it. I lived my life. I might as well not just go.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But yet, you endured, you pushed through, you had the grit to actually say, hey, listen, yeah, I am determined, I'm going to live.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it. Right? And now, you're alive, you're on the face of the earth, you are here. What is your view of your life now, from now onward? Merle is a few months. You out of it when was last 2 months back?
2 months back.
2 months back, right? Where you came out of that near-death experience. You had a different experience. Tell me a little bit, man. What is your view of life now?
Joan, to be honest with you, I've come to realize that we used to have the assumption that women are weak.
Yes.
We are not weak.
Yes.
We're gentle.
Yes.
But we're strong.
Yes.
And life is precious to me. Every moment
Yes.
counts. Because I know how quickly.
That's why you look so beautiful, man, with your yellow and black.
Thank you. Every moment counts.
Yes.
And wherever I go, I try to impact someone's, a woman's life.
Yes.
Because if you can get a woman in the right direction, you've rescued the family.
Absolutely.
When you've rescued that family, you've rescued the community.
Why would you say so? Because women are trendsetters.
Yes, and
Women are
because we
atmosphere
are-
setters.
Yes.
I would call it that.
We actually forget the significance of the woman in the house.
Yes.
I remember when I came back from the hospital, that deadly feeling around the house was gone.
Yes.
There was hope.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't even have hope that I would recover. But my family believed so much that I had
So
no other option.
the previous house, you had to be out. You had to go to another house.
Yes. And
And
not
I'm
even
sure-
being
was it
sure
a smaller
where I
house? Was it a-
yes. I had to step down completely from the lifestyle that I was accustomed to, that I grew up with, and that I made my children accustomed to.
Oh, I can
And
imagine
God
that.
offered no apology for that.
Yeah.
The people that I for wouldn't even greet me or take a call from me.
Because
and
they thought you
I was
you're
gonna
gonna
ask.
ask. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm financially
Yeah.
compromised
Yeah.
right now. It put tension on the marriage to an extent where my hubby actually had to go stay with his mom for a while because I would kill him. That is the extent that it went to. And it was just
Really?
escalating. So you're sitting alone with his children at home. You're too sick to do anything for yourself. You need to hide it from them. Being the strong mom, everything is in control. Your company is closed down. You're in a new environment that you're not used to. Your health is compromised. And I can just carry on and carry
Goodness.
on and carry on. And my best friends were missing. But then God made me realize that, you know, when Joseph was in jail, he needed two people.
Yeah.
He needed a baker and he needed a wine tapper.
Yeah.
And those were the two things that I needed in my life.
Yeah.
And though I couldn't find it in friends
Yeah.
or relatives then, God became the baker because he
Yes.
stepped
In
up.
your case, would you agree with that saying that says, when days are dark, friends are few?
They're not few, they are gone. They are gone. But God knows I would still help them
Yeah.
if I could
yeah.
today. If they need to call on me, I would still. But then God became my baker because he stepped up to my circumstances. He became my wine tapper because he filled me up.
Yes.
And that was the most beautiful time in my life.
So he became your
spiritually.
friend.
Yes. And I love this woman. I embrace her. I celebrate her. Wherever I go, I talk about that. I don't apologize for what
Yes.
happened. I share my story because if it could save one woman, if it could change one
girlfriend.
woman's life,
Yes.
if there's a woman that's listening today that was at the brink of giving up,
Yeah.
I would tell her that what's
too
yet
soon
to
to
come,
quit, man.
what's yet to come, that joy. You know what the peace and the you that gets birthed from this, that gets born from this, is nothing compared to the process.
Nothing.
Absolutely, and
Definitely.
Mo, would you agree?
I so agree with Rosetta, because you only have today. What you do, what you do with today, is what is relevant.
Okay.
Tomorrow sees to itself.
Okay.
Yes. Yesterday is past.
Okay.
You can't change what happened yesterday, but what
So you
happens
live
today,
your best,
you live your best
life today.
Draw up that bucket list.
Yes.
Don't let your circumstances decide or determine how you must be for today.
Absolutely.
I drew up my bucket list. Never mind my circumstances. I want to take a trip. I want to see the hole in the wall, and I want to do that.
Yeah.
That is part of my bucket list. I'm gonna tick it off,
Wow,
no matter
awesome.
what. So, ladies,
Wonderful.
don't let your circumstances decide how you are, how you show up.
And I can imagine when you wake up in the morning, that's why you said to me, sometimes the children think, what is this woman is crazy because you talk to yourself. So I can imagine that joy. I can imagine that gratitude for life.
That's
for
fulfillment. John, when you hear a bird chirps, it's not the same anymore.
You think differently.
It's not the same anymore.
You're appreciative of things that.
But it shows you, Mal, that when a person did not go through this, we take for granted.
You take even to sit here and to breathe, you take it as a natural thing.
Yes, it's
that
a
must
must-have.
happen. It's a must have. It's not.
Until you don't have
Yes.
it.
Oh, say that again.
Yeah.
Say that
Honestly,
again.
every breath of fresh air is a
yes.
blessing to me
Yes.
today. It's not a right.
Yeah.
It's a privilege.
Oh,
Because
wow.
when I was on oxygen,
Yeah.
I was like, Lord, if I could just breathe
breathe
once
once.
more on my own.
Yes. And that is where you tell yourself that you can't have done this on your own.
Yes,
It's only
God.
It's only God, because you have nothing in control.
Absolutely,
you are
man.
helpless when you are dependent on medical staff to see that you survive the next day, or to put you the feeding tube, or to do and check and monitor, are you breathing?
Yes.
Are your oxygen levels on the right thing? But then when you come off it, you can only say,
So you appreciate life
Much
more.
much more.
Yes.
And your family around you.
And even
so,
other women. I can relate to any type of situation with another woman. But John, to be honest with you, I cannot take. You don't invite me to a pity party.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Don't invite me to a pity
Wonderful.
party.
Wonderful.
I will not be bringing
Because
the
a
candies,
pity party
and I
is
will
not going to
solve
bring
the
you and
situation.
solve.
Yes.
Because you're in the situation, you have to get out.
Exactly, and that's why women who host pity parties,
Yes.
I will not honor the invitation. But if you're ready to take the journey,
yeah.
if you're ready to fight back, to repossess the gates of the enemy,
Yeah.
I'm on board with you.
Yes.
Because you can,
Absolutely.
if you want to.
Yes, yes, you
And
can.
it's not, we're not saying that it's easy, because it's not. It is the most difficult for myself experience of my life. But you must persevere.
Just a
and
baby
push,
step
baby
at a
steps,
time.
and push through.
A baby
Because
step
at the end of the day, you are going to be the survivor, and you are able to tell your story, and to say that
yes,
God,
because that's now
that
your
is it.
testimony.
Yes.
Yes.
And it can change so
yes,
many
so
lives.
many lives.
It can give so
Right.
many people that courage to keep on going on.
Yeah, that woman that's sitting there and thinking like everything is falling apart. I'm busy with a book, deeply bruised, but
Yes.
not yet broken.
Yes,
And that's why I'm telling my story.
yes.
I had all the reason to give up.
You did.
Society wouldn't blame
Yes,
me.
yes.
I mean, like there were more than once when I actually had all my heart tablets in my hand. And I would catch myself actually flushing it.
Wow.
Because I decided to have purpose.
Amen.
I decided to pursue destiny.
Yes.
But God is a gentleman. He
because
allows
you still had dreams
Exactly.
for your own personal life.
And for me as a person, it was
Yes.
first about me. And then it became about my husband and the
Others.
children.
Yes.
But it had to become about me first.
Absolutely. Because it starts here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the individual that makes up her mind or his mind and say, listen here, I do have the determination. I
want
do
to
have the
survive.
grit to survive. I can make it on my own.
Yes.
I am going to make it because I have God on my side too.
Yes.
You know, and that's a plus to have him
And
in your
these
boat.
circumstances, he feels so much closer.
Yes.
There were times when maybe it was just my imagination, but I would ask him like, just show me that you're here. And I would feel a breeze or something. I would like, Lord, you surely have a sense of humor. But I would take it as confirmation.
Yes.
I became so selfish that I was like, Lord, I want to spend time with you now.
Amen.
I just want to lose myself in you right now.
Yes.
And
And I'm sure that relationship became so strong,
Yes.
Emil.
I am. You have a feeling of peace, you know, like nothing phases me. I'm going to say you are calm. I just accept. I say to him, whatever the circumstances, God will see us through.
Amen.
Because I've seen him.
you went
I've
through
seen
the
him.
worst
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
So you know that,
No.
listen, this is but just crumbs, you know, this
yes.
is just
He
this
sees
little.
you. He sees you through.
Yes.
You know, he moves your mountain.
I so
He's
much
done it
love
for
it.
me. He's done it for me. So
Yes.
that's why nothing can.
So your faith
faze
is on
me.
another
It's
level.
Another level.
Huh?
yeah,
Another level.
My sister said to me the other day that I have stupid faith.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it doesn't make sense to them when I tell them it is well.
Yes.
with
yes.
myself.
Yes. I am so.
I don't
there.
know where is it
I
coming
am
from.
So there.
Because, like I said, it's a job in progress.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering. God is
Yes,
still taking me through
yes,
things.
yes.
The other day I said to someone, just when I think I've written the last chapter
Yeah.
of the book, God's adding another one.
Yes, yes, yes.
So He's still taking us through the
Through a
process.
journey, yes.
But through it all, I've learned to trust Him more.
Amen.
I've learned to love Him
Oh,
more.
I so
to
love it.
depend
Yes.
on Him more.
I so love it.
And sometimes I'm so selfish that I actually put my family out of my room and I tell them it's me time
Yeah.
with Daddy.
Yeah.
Because you weren't there that night.
Yes.
You don't know the cost of
Cost,
the oil in my alabaster box.
Yes. So nobody will understand
Yes.
when I lose it in His presence. When I'm there, you know, in the presence of the Lord.
Amen.
And I shout or I cry and or I lift
Just
up my
lose
hands or
yourself
I
and-
lose myself in His presence. Nobody will be able to understand
Exactly.
what
And,
I actually went through.
and people think that serving God means that you're immune, that you're indemnified.
Yeah.
No,
No, you're not.
you're not. We need to understand that whilst we're living on this earth, we are not indemnified to things
Yes.
like this.
Yes.
But like the 10 lepers, be the one leper to come back
And say
and
thank
say
you.
thank you so God can
Yes.
restore you.
Restore you.
fully.
Amen, amen. Because sometimes we can run away with what God is giving us. He's
Exactly.
giving you a second chance in life
And you make it your opportunity,
to
forgetting
live,
that
forgetting who actually saved you.
Yes.
Forgetting who's actually with you.
Yes.
You know, and I think it's so easy to do that, especially in today's life.
Yes,
you know,
in
where
today's-
everything is so lackadaisy
So
and
you can do it on your own.
so you
yeah?
can do it on you
do it. You do
you
it on your own.
depend on your own
Empowered
strength,
and
your own.
we are
But
so
if you
empowered and yeah.
yes, if you went through what you ladies went through, wow! Only your testimonies alone tells me so much, and just that gratitude of life. That Lord, with you, I can smile at the storm. I can do whatever
Ever.
comes my way.
yes.
I know that I have a Redeemer who lives and who will take me further. Because this is but just a hurdle that I have to get the strength
over.
to get over
Yes.
and carry on with life. And it's like a athlete on the field. You know, when those hurdles are there, all that athlete have to do is
One hurdle at a
one
time.
hurdle at a time.
One hurdle at a time.
Yeah, get the energy back again.
Yes.
Run to the other hurdle that is placed in your way, and then get that strength to just take another plunge over that hurdle, because you know what? At the end of the day, you're going to make it, and you are going to make it strong, because these are but just obstacles in the way, and this is life's journey. So girls, ladies, your last, because we're almost done, and I think just your last bit that you can say, closing remarks, quickly, just a second, because we're done with the program.
To every lady out there, it's not worth giving up. You might be much closer to the breakthrough than you thought. What I did, Joan, is I got stones that I actually painted.
Yes.
Love,
yes.
grace,
yes.
faith.
Yes.
And when I feel that I lack one of those, there's my stone that I hold on for today.
Awesome.
For the day.
Wonderful.
So take courage and be strong in God, and we are uniting in prayer. There's no distance in prayer.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I just want to say that nothing is impossible with God.
Yes.
You need to keep your faith,
Yes.
keep your strength,
Yes.
and know that He will move your mountain.
Oh, yes.
Because He did it for me, He can do it for you.
Oh, yes, amen. So, well, beloveds, thank you so much for listening and tuning in today on the Inside Show with Talk with Joan. I love you. God loves you best. Go in the peace of the Lord. Mwah.